How much time do you take to reflect, as this game approaches, just on your career as it has unfolded here?
I've took a lot of time to reflect. I just think that's what got me to this moment. Like, I feel good, I feel confident in this team. So I reflect a lot over the years.
I guess if you could sum it up quickly, it might be hard to do given all you've been through, but if you could sum it up quickly, I guess what has this journey, what stands out about the journey you've been on?
Honestly, just awakening, just learning yourself and just growing, maturing over the whole process.
What is that awakening? What does that word mean, I guess?
Learning yourself, taking that time to sit down and actually figuring out what's best for you, what works best for you, ways you can improve and be better.
Josh, there were plenty of times, like maybe each of the last 3 years, where you thought could be over, gonna be over, planning for it to be over. Like Friday, it really is. What is that like to think about?
I got that question a few times this week. It's honestly kind of bittersweet. Feels good, but at the same time, it's sad just to know you're leaving this behind. Just all these memories and everything you've been through. But it feels good. It feels good just to move on to the next step.
What's the first thing you think of?
First thing I think of is just the process. Literally, that's it. It's been a long 6 years, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but we're here, so I feel good and I'm happy.
You don't get to come close to home that often. What does it mean for your last game to be close to home, and how many people are coming?
It means a lot. I think I have 22 that'll be here at the game, so I'm really excited. Half of Tulsa's going to be here.
Josh, how different do you feel this year, this time for the bowl, compared to last year? That was a very disappointing year, and how different is it?
It's not too much different. At the end of the game, it's a game. It's a big game. I don't want to downplay it. Definitely is a big game. Want to come in and focus, but it's a big deal.
Obviously, the way you feel about your season, and obviously you had a great year. Last year was very disappointing. Just what's the difference?
This year is just all about finishing strong. Just finishing strong, not worried about the past. I like to live in the present now. It's my mindset, so.
Josh, what do you think of the
year that you had? Do you feel like there's finally some closure to this chapter?
I do. I feel like I went out on the right note, and my whole goal was to come back and help this team get to where we want to be. We didn't reach that level, but it's all about finishing strong.
In the last year, have you or in the last month, since you guys have delayed, have you kind of sat back and thought about how many people were surprised when you were making all these plays early in the year?
Nah, not really. One of those things I just wanted to, I haven't been on social media a lot. I don't like to listen to the outside world. I just wanted to focus on me this year.
Have you always been that way, or is that something you learned over time?
I say that's something I learned over time. That just goes with that maturing process. Coming in, you're a young guy. The lights, the crowds, everything is a lot different. It's a lot different, and it takes some getting used to if you're not ready for it.
What do you think of playing your last game in this venue?
I love it. I love it. What's bigger than Jerryland? What's bigger than
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I love it. It's exciting. I'm back home, like they said, so I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go.
Josh, have the NCAA approved your 7th year yet or not?
Nah, shoot. I mean, if they throwing some NIL this way, I will.
If you look back over this last half a dozen years, went 1,000 different ways than you could ever imagine, but like, are there any moments where you go back, I wish this would have happened different, or I regret this, or I should have done this earlier? Like, what's the biggest lesson for the next Josh Proctor? You know what I mean?
There's been some times I've thought about doing things different, or what if I would have did this, but honestly, being here now, I wouldn't trade anything. Like, it's all made me who the person I am today, so.
Josh, 1 year after you started the transfer portal, I guess now that it's done, why did you stay?
My biggest thing, I didn't feel like I went out how I wanted to. I feel like there was a lot left out there I needed to do, a lot I needed to prove to not others, but also myself.
How hard was that for you at times to stay?
It was harder than you would think, but at the same time, it's just knowing the end goal and where you want to be, and ultimately this is what I had to do to get to where I want to be.
And you feel like you got there?
Yeah.
Knowing that everyone's career is different, and you got to do what's best for you. If someone came to you talking about entering the transfer portal, what would Josh Proctor's advice be to them, kind of based on your trajectory?
I would just tell them, just pray. Just pray. I had a lot of long talks with myself, a lot of talks with God, just asking Him and asking for guidance, and that's what my biggest takeaway is: just pray and ask for signs.
What's the Josh Proctor play that you remember the most from this 6 years? Is it the Wisconsin hit? Is it the pick six here this year? Is it a dropped pick six? I know we like to give you credit for those. What is the play that's like in 25 years? What was your favorite play to Ohio State?
He hasn't been here 25 years, Spencer.
Almost.
Dr. Proctor.
Shoot. I'd say the most exciting to me was just probably, I'd say it's probably Wisconsin. Definitely Wisconsin. This day year, the way things ended, the way that game went. So just go out with a bang that game. That's probably my most exciting play.
Josh, we may not
It's
talk
good
to
to know you remember that.
we may not talk to you on Friday after the game. You know, we don't know what we're going to get and how that's going to work. But what's the next step for you to get ready for the next place you want to be, right? The NFL. So what have you taken from this year and say, hey, this is where I need to keep growing?
Just mature. Continue to learn myself. There's always areas we can better ourselves in. And ultimately, it's all God's timing. So as long as I do my work, it'll all come into play. So,
Josh, we talked about the transfer portal. We talked about guys that have decisions to make. After the Michigan game, with all this time in between, as you look, are you surprised that as many guys stayed as they did?
I was, but at the same time, I wasn't. I mean, this is definitely how I put that. Definitely a weird time, especially with the transfer portal and all the NIL going and stuff. So you never really know what's going to happen and who's going to go. But I wouldn't say I was surprised. We're a close group, close-knit group. Guys trust each other. So
I was going to say, what does it say about it then?
It shows that they trust. We trust the system. We trust Coach Day. We trust his team. We trust every coach. We trust them to put us in the right position, and ultimately it's up to us to go and make those plays and come out with a win and do what we need to do.
Josh, I think you, X, and Tristan are the only three guys who actually run out of eligibility on the entire roster. But for you and X specifically, have you guys talked about this together? How much you guys have been through on the roster? Have you guys ever played, like, name a guy that you played with that everybody else would forget? Like,
we do.
What are those conversations like with you and X, who have been through the coaching change with Urban to Coach Day? How many position coaches you've had? X was in a position coaching room with two guys. Like, everything you guys have been through, what are those conversations with you and him like?
It's just a blessing, man, because some people don't even get this far. And honestly, I don't take any of it for granted. Even though I've went through all the injuries and everything, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm breathing. I'm living. I'm happy. So it's a blessing, but we talk about it a lot. It's just crazy to think, like, over the time, like, all the people we've seen, all the different personalities we've been around, and even me and him, like, we've grown. Like, when I first met him, we were way different than we are now.
You were a top 100 recruit.
Exactly.
He was playing running back.
Exactly. So you just never know, man. You just never know.
Have you guys kind of bonded over that? Are you guys better friends now than you were, obviously, those first couple of years when you were playing defense and offense?
I like this. we've always been close, especially with our class. Even around our freshman year, we had so many transfers in that 2018 class. So we've always been a class that just kind of wanted to stick together no matter what happened. So I'd say we're pretty close.
We were talking to Coach Knowles about you earlier. One thing that he had said is there's stuff you went through that people don't even know about. Is there anything that you want to get into here? Or obviously, you know, your private business, but...
That's the specifically I can think of right now. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I'm not one of those people who just like to talk about a lot of things, and that's one of my biggest problems. I like to hold stuff in, and sometimes it boils over, and that's when you just kind of look back at what you learned from past examples, and you just learn.
There's a lot riding on this game for you, with just being it. How do you make sure that you don't Get your emotions, let your emotions get the best of you sometime early in this game or things like that.
I've been through a lot of this, honestly. I've been through a lot of them, so like I said, it's definitely a big game, but I want to make it more than what it is. Like, ultimately, I'm confident. I just need to go out there and do my job. I know what to do. So,
just to talk about the game itself, Missouri's offense, Luther Burden. What do you see when you watch film of Luther and just how they operate their offense in space?
It's an explosive offense. It's a very explosive offense. They're a talented team. Quarterback, I think he's a 3,000-yard passer. They got a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver. So we got to come with it. It's not going to be an easy game, and we know that. We've been practicing like that. It was going to be a tough one. So we just got to focus on this game plan and come in and work it.
Has Keon been a good Luther in practice?
Yeah. We have a couple people, but yeah, definitely Keon's a faster guy, and we know they like to get the ball in his hands and move him around a lot. So he's going to be our main focus this game.
Josh, you were talking about things you've learned as a player. As you look back at all the changes that have happened in college football, from how different your recruiting was to what it is now,
Crazy.
Are you glad you went through it now? Would you like a chance to go through it the way it is now?
Honestly, only reason I would be glad is because of the money aspect. But other than that, I wouldn't trade it because now it just seems like so much. It's just
so much simpler.
Yeah, it was so much simpler when I was coming out. You just wanted to pick a school and go. There was no money involved. Wasn't this involved? Wasn't that involved? So yeah, I think it was definitely simpler time back when I came in.
Are you surprised as being somebody who's been, front row for it all to see how it's happened? How surprised are you to see how quick it accelerated?
That would probably be the biggest surprise is how quick it all started happening. Like, we were all coming in talking about, college kids should get played and all of this, but to see it happen and get to the amount that it is to now, it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
When Ohio State comes here, is there talk about the first CFP championship game here? Or is that kind of, because I know you guys have been here before, this team's been here before or since then, but is there talk about that at all?
Not a lot. Each team has their own legacy, and we just kind of work with ours.
I think back to how expressive you were on the field this year. You were one of the main guys pumping up the crowd in the shoe, doing all that stuff. Did all the stuff you go through make you more appreciative of those moments?
Yeah, it definitely did. It definitely did, and that's what brought that character out of me this year. I've always been an energetic player, but it's just a different chip on my shoulder this year. I felt like I had to play with.
You guys are facing a slot receiver in Luther Burden, who's second nationally in yards after the catch. How slippery does he look once the ball's in his hand?
He's really good. He's really good. He's good at creating space. He's good at finding ways to get open, and they're good at getting him the ball in different ways. So we just have to focus in and come ready to play.
Is there a guy in Hart's room that reminds you of Luther?
That's a good one. We got a lot of them. I couldn't even put one out there for you right now. There's so many.
You've played safety for this entire, I won't make you feel old, the entire run of like every wide receiver.
You're right.
Even Terry and Paris, you've played against every single one of them.
Yeah.
Do you have not top three, because I'm going to get you in trouble, but three that for you at safety were the toughest to guard or defend?
Let's see. So when they were here, I was probably playing a lot of slot, like nickel. I've guarded guys. I've guarded Garrett. He's definitely up there. I've guarded KJ. I've guarded CJ Saunders. I've guarded, like you said, Terry. I'd say maybe Garrett, Jackson. I have to go CJ. He used to give me trouble.
CJ Saunders?
Saunders used to give me trouble.
I think Paris
He used to make me work. He used to make me work. I never really guarded Paris a lot. Like he would go in from the slot, but he did a lot of motion. He was the guy that had on the run a lot. So I've seen a lot of CJ though.
when Lathan got hurt, Sonny had to move over. With a month since you guys have played last, I mean, how has Sonny been progressing into his role?
He's been doing great. Sonny's he's smart though. He's smart. He knows the game, man. He's one of those guys you can put him in any spot. He knows the defense. He's just one of those guys. He wants to learn every little detail. So he catches on pretty quick, but he's done a great job at really just honing in and